Yeah, good morning and good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are joining us across the world. My name is Kelvin Jiraji. This is the African Digital Economy Summit AfriDes podcast. And today we'll be talking with Mr. Radek. Radek will
Hello, everyone.
We'll be sharing on of course, scaling African businesses and then what it means for assessing export support facility from Poland, particularly for African businesses, African government, and African entrepreneurs or innovators.
Exactly. Hello, everyone.
Today's an amazing topic, and then we want to be paying a very rapt attention around it too. Because funding is a very critical component, especially for African businesses. So today, Radek will be sharing more light on how to assess funding support for African businesses from Poland. So if you are just joining us, this is the AfriDes podcast, and then we'd like to meet, can we meet you, Radek? Who is Radek? Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Radek Wierzbicki from Poland. Nice to meet you. I'm a business consultant. I'm a founder of Unsung Heroes Ventures for Humanity. So we are connecting different innovations with international nonprofit organizations, with startups all around the world. In the last year, we accelerated over 200 startups coming from 21 countries, mostly in Africa, in Asia. We have the network of mentors coming across 43 nations. But beyond those, let's call it development side, we also doing business. And here we are connecting Polish and Nigerian entrepreneurs, because in Poland we have a program focused on supporting African business with that connect African businesses with Polish businesses. And moreover, I would like to say that Poland is very unique in collaboration with Africa, because in our history, what is better in Poland when we collaborate to compare to other large countries? So we have not bad history, including like colony and this bad area in the history of the world. So through 123 years, we were totally dependent on other countries, like many places in Africa. So this is the story that can connect us, because we are on the same side, where we are trying to grow beyond other factors that are happening in the world. So also I'm here, and thank you for the invitation, because we have very good programs in Poland to support businesses in Nigeria and Poland.
Thank you so much, Mr. Radek. I know we'll be continuing this conversation, hopefully in Brazil, in the next couple of weeks. So can you just briefly introduce the Polish Export Promotion Facility and explain its purpose in supporting African businesses? I know a lot of Africans will be keen, particularly businesses, on getting to know about the Export Promotion Facility. How do they tap into it? So can you just briefly introduce the facility, the loan, and what does it mean for African businesses?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Polish Development Bank offer loans for African companies that can buy products that are cheaper than in other countries in Europe, but they are located in Poland. So if any company, for example, in Nigeria, wants to scale their business, wants to buy some products that can then later export this somewhere else, or use this product to create another products, they can take a loan in Polish Development Bank. But the requirement here is that they must buy products from Polish suppliers or from Polish companies that can. I
I
thought you
know
wanted.
I know we're talking on the requirement much more later. Yeah. So how do these loans or facility differ from the traditional financing options available to
Mhm,
African companies or African governments? Why is the Polish facility different?
mhm. Well, so first of all, this is about shorter financial analysis of companies, both in Nigeria and in Poland. So this is the thing number one. The thing number two is about the interest rate that is cheaper than in general loans, but this enable for both parties, for Nigerian one to have cheaper finance, and for Poland part to export their goods to Nigeria or any other country. And the process to get this loan is much faster and easier to compare to traditional banking system. And there was like about 100 transactions every year funded by Polish Development Bank for companies and governments located in many places and in many industries.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So can you speak to what are the key eligibility criteria for African businesses to access
Mhm.
this
Okay.
facility from the Polish Development Bank?
Okay, so there are like two main criterias. The first one is that a Nigerian company must exist on the market at least 3 years. So this is the first thing. The thing number two is that because the minimum amount of loan is like 1 million US dollars or 1 million euro, it cannot be more than 1/4 of annual revenue of the company in Nigeria. So if the Nigerian company has the annual revenue on the level like 4 million euro a year, so the loan cannot be higher than 1 million euro. So this is the like two major conditions here.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So I've been engaging government across Africa, and particularly a lot of them have been asking what sectors are these
Mhm.
facilities more appealing or more tilted towards. Africa currently is tilted towards agriculture. And most of the governments were particular around farm mechanizations. You have tractors, you have farm inputs, you have staple foods because
Yes, we have.
right. So now what industries or sectors in Africa are most likely to benefit from this Polish Development Bank facility?
Majority of transactions is based on agri sector, food sector, agri sector, and health sector. But majority, 70% of transaction is about farming and about farming equipment, and the majority of that is about this. And also Poland is the biggest producer in Europe, together with France, in terms of this kind of machines and other. In my home region, like is Podlaski district, we have like 4 producers of tractors, combines, and other such machines.
Okay, so are you telling Africa now that farm machinery and farm input is part of this loan?
Yes.
Wow, awesome, awesome. I'm telling you, most of the government in Africa will be so excited now because I've been speaking with a couple of governors, and
Mhm.
then most of them are tilted towards how do they facilitate loans for farm machinery, because
Yes.
yes, Africa has been over a period of time practicing very crude agriculture, where everything is done using manual labor. And so we've been seeing things migrate a bit into farm mechanization. and a lot of government are paying attention in getting the right heavy equipment uh, for the farming activity. So let's dive a bit further. How can the Polish export promotion facility help African businesses scale and expand their operations both locally and internationally? Because of course, accessing this finance puts you on the platform of becoming global. So how can it help you scale both global and locally
Mhm.
within your operations?
Okay, I can see two benefits. So, first of all, when you collaborate with Polish Development Bank and you can leverage your buying some products using this money going from this coming from this loan, you don't have to use your own money, so you can buy more equipment, more things, and then you don't have to sell this on your local market. Once you buy this to Nigeria or any other locations, you have this on your warehouse, you have this on your field, so then you can sell this abroad. So this is the first thing. But once you take the loan from the Polish Development Bank, you are recognizable in the Polish financial ecosystem. So what I can suggest in the stage 2 is to open a company daughter in Poland. In Poland, it means the Unite Europe, it means Schengen zone. So no borders from Estonia to Portugal, and very good law system, very similar to German, France, and others. So then you can settle up the company in Poland. So then you mean you can trade in other EU countries without duties and other things. So I think this could be the stage number 2. So then you as a Nigerian company can scale to Europe starting from Poland. And actually, because we had like frozen some EU money after a few years, but last year we have a new government, and we can use those money to fundraise startups and large companies that want to scale in Poland. So this is another opportunity that you can see in Poland, or go beyond Poland when you go to Europe as a Nigerian company. So also, if you can see any companies that can do like this, we should talk about this as well. So this is the second thing, I guess.
Okay, awesome. If you're just joining us across the globe, this is the AfriDes podcast. We've been having conversation with Mr. Radek, shedding light on skilling African businesses, and of course how to access Polish export support facility and loans, particularly for African government or African businesses or for African innovators. It's been an amazing conversation so far. And then, of course, to push it further, Mr. Radek, what role do you see this facility playing in enhancing trade between Africa and Europe, particularly Poland, in the next 10 years?
I think for example, the volume of export and import between countries will still grow, because when we think about large economics, let's say about Germany, unfortunately, because of, for example, electric cars, they have huge problems in the motor vehicle sector. And when you see, for example, German economy, you look at vehicle industry, and you can see that there is no progress anymore in this, because we have Tesla, we have Chinese producers on the second side, and the largest economy in Europe has a lot of problems on that way. But to compare, Poland is still much cheaper than Germany, France, or the UK. So because we are twice cheaper and we have a lot of factories producing different farming equipment, I think this will be our key advantage to boost export and import in two ways. And I think that from one side, of course, we can sell more things to Nigeria, but on the other side, African companies can come to Poland to scale in the whole Europe from Poland. So in the next 10 years, I can see that we can double, at least double our trade between two countries.
Oh, that's amazing. But of course, we know that some of these facilities, and of course, their approach or processes comes with a lot of challenges, especially for African businesses. What are some of the common challenges African businesses face when applying for these export promotion facilities or loans? And then from your own standpoint and perspective, how can African businesses overcome these challenges?
Okay, so I think the biggest challenge for both parties is to settle the transaction rules before applying. So we must settle some things like what will be the scale of the transaction, how much we want to buy from Polish company, what will be the final price, what other suppliers or customers can we have in for example, if a Nigerian company takes a loan, what are potential customers for this Nigerian company? Because if they take a loan, that there must be some money then to pay money back. So the understanding that we have to understand many things before applying, I think, is the biggest challenge here, because it requires a lot of meetings and setting rules between two parties that are applying for the money. I think this is it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. How can African government and institutions collaborate with Polish entities like your organizations to make this fund or facility more accessible and more impactful? Because of course the question is getting this facility or accessing these loans, making it impactful is much more. It's of greater value, you know. So how can African government or organizations collaborate with Polish institutions like Sonkiro to make this facility more accessible and more impactful?
Okay, so first of all, I think there is always need of somebody who can introduce both parties. Because if a company from any country in the world can write down the email to any company in Poland and say that they want to collaborate, take some loan, and etc., they might not believe what is it about. They can feel, oh, maybe in Poland we have, and also in Europe, we have a lot of people are cheating each other. So there is always need of somebody who know two parties and who can introduce them, and it's a kind of guarantee that the transaction can be completed. So I think this is the first thing here, that this kind of person is required here. As you asked, so Polish Development Bank and this program of supporting export promotion, in the long term, yes, it support any region that benefit from these loans, because even if we can buy 100 tractors from this loan, so imagine that then as the local company in Nigeria sell this locally and sell it abroad, so you take additional margin, so then you can generate new workplaces in your home location, So then the whole community receive some money, and this money is redistributed locally everywhere. So I think this is the biggest advantage here.
Yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome. As we draw closer to the end of this conversation, we want to know, in the long term, how do you see the Polish export promotion loans contributing to the development of Africa's export economy?
Mhm. So I think because what is the export benefit? What is the export advantage from for Poland or for African countries? This is still not only about the quality of product, but it's also about price. So once you receive access to, let's call it cheap market, but cheap with high quality, like is Poland, where you can bring some things to your country, so then you can scale it to other countries, having still good quality and giving your margin and being still more comparable still competitive to, for example, to German companies, to France companies that are selling something, for example, to the US. So even if you buy something from Poland, then give your margin, give your special service, and sell it to the US. It's still cheaper. It's still much cheaper than buying something directly for the American company, for example, from the UK. If they buy from you and you have the product from Poland, it's still cheaper than buying directly from the UK, for example. Because in many, actually, what is very bad true, but in many cases, when large Western markets buyers buy something from Western Europe, Western countries don't produce these things in their local markets. Actually, they buy this from Poland. So it's a little confused, but collaborating with Poland make win-win for Polish companies, for Nigerian companies, both for two parties, you know. So this is like how can I see and how Polish Development Bank can see this advantage to collaborate together to make our countries stronger, at least in terms of business.
Yeah, so as we round up this episode of the AfriDes podcast, what advice will you give to African governments and entrepreneurs looking to access this facility to scale their businesses or operations? What advice will you give to both government
Mhm.
and private businesses?
I think this is about not closing on large markets that they were working by many years, like the UK, Germany, France. Poland is very close geographically or and in the legal terms of all the same things that we have in the western part of the Europe, but and having the same or even higher quality in many products, in many innovations, we have still cheaper prices. So don't close your eyes when you think about counterparty from other locations, but be open for countries and for business from countries like Poland, where you have actually the same legal system, but and the same level of quality, but still cheaper prices. So I think this is it. What I can advise for people who have decision on their position.
Okay. Thank you, Radek. It's been an amazing time having you shed more light on how both African government and African businesses can access Polish export facility and loans to scale both businesses and government operations on the continent of Africa. Before we round up, because we've come to the close of today's episode, do we have any particular region in Africa that this facility is more tilted towards? or is it meant for all African countries, or this is a facility meant for Nigeria or the West African region, or like, can you speak to the generality, or of
Yes,
course?
yes. So there are many African countries that contributed from that, starting from Rwanda, where Rwanda government bought some equipment to production of milk. Kenya, Senegal, Algeria, Egypt, so many countries, and many of them have a lot of business opportunities and advantages they had because of this transactions. And not only business was the party of the transaction, but also governments as well.
Okay, thank you. We've come to the end of today's episode. There's been an amazing time out with Radek.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy the rest of your day, Radek. Let's keep this conversation in Sao Paulo. We are hoping to have you share more light in Sao Paulo in the next few weeks, when the African Digital Economy team will be flying you into Brazil
Thank you so
to
much.
have meaningful conversations with African leaders to lead in this conversation, and of course, in this building this network across Africa. Thank you. We are looking forward to more collaborations and partnership. Thank you once again. It's been an amazing time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Night. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
Take care.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.